This is a video from last year from Otto the Watchdog's channel. This right here is a sergeant. This sergeant unlawfully arrested Otto. He's referred in this video as Winston. Arrested him for standing on a public sidewalk holding a sign that said, "Shit is fucked up and stuff." This sergeant, he may even be a lieutenant. He's one of the head guys at the Rockwell Police Department in Texas. One of the head guys, him and his witness that came with him had a combined, I think it was like 90,000 hours of training. I'm not exaggerating when I say that number. Okay? Training is not an issue. They hire cops because they're stupid. They want order followers. And as long as there's nobody teaching them the right way to be cops, they're going to continue to do it the wrong way. Why? Because the average American citizen like me that gets violated by law enforcement can't afford an attorney. And unless we're a diversity hire or unless we're a minority, no one wants to help us unless you're a minority or unless you've been murdered on camera. So this terror pig is going to be asked a question, and I want you to think about the question before you hear it from them. The question is, is a suspect required to help law enforcement? In other words, is a suspect required to talk to you, officer, during your investigation of him? So in other words, do I have to help a cop investigate me? Now, I say that question, and you're like, well, I know the answer. This is so simple. This is a cop that's been on the job for 25 years. 25 years this cop's going to be on the job. And his pro witness that's a master law enforcement officer has been in there, I think, for 35 or 40 years. And they both answer the question the same exact way. This is how stupid law enforcement is. And you know why? They will never, ever make them learn the law? Because they're never, ever held accountable for not knowing it. Ever. This cop's still on duty. He's still going about his day. Nothing happens to corrupt law enforcement. They get a paid vacation and then they get a raise when they get back. Let's see if we're at the right spot here.
Based on them investigate it, but you're asking me for an opinion on what hostile is. I may have a different.
By the way, this cop doesn't know the meaning of hostile. I don't want to rewind this, but the lawyer for Otto the Watchdog said, was he asking in a hostile manner? Was he acting in a hostile manner when you went to interview and talk to him? This cop doesn't know the meaning of hostile, and watch how he dances around these words because they're corrupt and they're stupid. Corrupt and stupid cops are the most dangerous cops. I'd rather be around an Islamic terrorist than a terror pig that is dumb and corrupt.
Opinion than you on what hostile is. I did observe him not being cooperative, if you want to say that's hostile. He was not being cooperative when officers approached him.
Do you think that Mr. Knowles had a legal obligation to be cooperative?
Based on them investigating a report of what was going on, I believe he had the legal obligation to answer questions. Yes, sir.
Do you believe that citizens are legally required to assist law enforcement officers in investigations?
Can you restate the question?
Do you believe that the law says that Winston Knowles had to cooperate with the officers?
I don't know that I can give you an answer on that. I believe that if an officer is investigating some sort of a crime and they're asking yourself or anyone else out in the public about that crime to gather enough information to find out if a crime's committed, then they have an obligation to answer.
You heard that right. This is either a sergeant or a lieutenant. You must help incriminate yourself when a cop wants to arrest you. You must assist them in their investigation to arrest you. Now, I know you guys have heard this silly saying that cops have used all the years, and I mean, it really means nothing when they say you have the right to remain silent. That doesn't mean anything at all to law enforcement. It's just words. It's just like when they hold their hand up and they put their other hand on the Bible, they say, I take an oath to the Constitution. It means nothing. They're just words that must be read to acquire the employment. That's all it is. This cop just told you, you must assist in your interrogation. You must assist law enforcement in arresting you, and you must assist them on convicting you.
And do you think the person who does not cooperate is hostile?
Objection. I don't know that I can answer that correctly, sir. I think it depends on their demeanor at the time.
I'm just asking for your opinion, that's all.
They have the ability to, yes, sir. Do I think everyone? No.
So because Otto the Watchdog would not help this terror pig, you guys need to get this in your vernacular, terror pig, like terrorist, they're terror pigs. Put that in your vernacular and use it. Terror pig. Let's make that commonplace. Terror pig. This terror pig thinks that if, God forbid, you use your what? Fifth Amendment right to remain silent? Is it your fifth or your fourth? See, study. If you use your right to remain silent, you are hostile to law enforcement. And every cop in America believes this. They think if you don't kiss their ass, bend over, and ask how deep they're allowed to put it in your ass, if you don't just gladly back up on them when they say that, if you don't push it in harder for these terrorists, you're being hostile. God forbid you have a right to remain silent.
So do you think that Winston Knowles' lack of cooperation meant that he was hostile?
Objection for. I believe that he was hostile in a way of not answering the questions. In the video, if I remember correctly, when officer spoke to him, he also turned his back to them.
Oh God! Oh God! Look me in the eyes! That's what the cop told me. Look me in the eyes! You're not even man enough to look me in the eyes! See? It's called contempt of cop for a reason. How dare you turn your back? How dare you use your right to remain silent and not answer me? I'm going to put in a report that you're hostile. Or even better, oh, because you know what your rights are and I don't, I'm going to call you a sovereign citizen. Oh, you pray to God? Oh, you got some religiosity that needs to be assessed with a mental health counselor. These are the terror pigs that you guys allow to daily abridge the rights given to us by God the Creator. These are the terror pigs that you excuse as saying, oh, they just need more training. They just need more training and they'll do better. This cop is 60 years old, probably could have retired years and years ago, still on the job, but doesn't know you have a right to remain silent, doesn't know that you have no duty or obligation to help them in their investigation, that he doesn't know that standing on a public sidewalk holding a sign with a F word on it is protected speech. Well, you might be able to say it, but if it's wrote down on a piece of cardboard with a Sharpie, that's terrorist activity there. You might be inciting a riot. In a manner which, to me, said he was being uncooperative and was not going to be cooperative at that point.
You think he deserved to be arrested for not being cooperative?
I don't have an answer for you, Mr. Alexander, because I was not the arresting officer, nor was I the officer that was doing the investigation.
He's a liar.
Into that situation.
He's a liar.
So if you weren't the arresting officer and you weren't performing the investigation, what was your role there?
I was basically a backup officer for officer safety.
He was just there to keep officers
I
safe.
can't believe you're actually left with this house.
These are the terror pigs that you worship. You copsuckers are the reason that government is the way it is, and why the Nazi Gestapo enforcers of government are the way they are. You criticize me for standing up and speaking out, while you'll go down on any blue badge bitch you see. God bless.